Folks, welcome back to the show where it's not wrestling with your budget. It's not wrestling with your conscience. It's not wrestling with the TKO board. It is wrestling with emotion. And my goodness, unless you've been hidden under a rock, you've been hearing about The Rock returning, potentially WrestleMania implications. And of course, for any of the diehards out there, we have Swerve-Page 3 tomorrow on AEW Dynamite. So a lot to look forward to. So let's get our crew in here. Of course, you know him, you love him. Slick Saturday. We got your friend, our friend, my friend, Jake, Micah. We got quickly becoming the voice of reason, Rob Ryan. We got Sweatpants Joe. We got WWE Insider Khalil, and we got the head of the table, Michael Artham. Wow, it sorted him to the middle like Family Feud. But welcome, Jets. What a week it's been. I mean, we thought it was a rocky road to the Royal Rumble last Tuesday. Little did we know what we were in for this past week.
Torn triceps, people stealing people's main events. I mean, wow, what a time to be a wrestling fan. And then on top of that, all this other stuff behind the scenes. So
it's a
I really need to get lottery numbers from CM Punk. Let me tell you, because after that promo he cut on Cody, almost everything he said is coming true. And unless this is a work, this man is a fortune teller.
Well, we're going to have to define what's a work and what's a shoot, because everything we see on TV, right, wrestling-wise, is technically a work.
It's a work.
It was planned.
Arthur, you know what we're referring to.
I'm saying it's a work if this was a pre-planned reaction from the crowd. Maybe not so much. I've heard rumors that they aren't sure, or they weren't sure that they were going to turn on The Rock the way that they did. But I think that if this was a planned reaction and eventually we end up with Cody and that was always the plan, then that was a work. But if there was a situation where The Rock was the plan and Cody wasn't, then it's not a work.
Thing is, we might never know.
I'm telling you right now, if you think that The Rock is out here as some kind of diversion, top of the fifth, like part of Cody's story, you're the biggest mark in here right now, because The Rock doesn't come to be a diversion. The Rock doesn't come to do Elimination Chamber in Australia. He comes for one thing and one thing only, to be the main event, to be The Rock. Dwayne Johnson has grown beyond WWE, whether we like it or not. He was always great as The Rock, still is great as The Rock. But in this scenario, a lot of the fans are pissed because he's stealing the spotlight from Cody. What's supposed to be Cody's story, all of a sudden The Rock is coming in to finish a story that, quite frankly, we all agree they should have written 2 to 3 years ago.
Well, like we were about to touch on, I think this is part of the story, unfortunately. Whether it was planned to be or not, I think maybe they gave it a day, but whether they started with this intention or not, they're absolutely playing into it now. The commentary last night was a dead giveaway. How many times they said Cody was trending for 72 hours straight, acknowledging the people chanting, "Fuck you, Rocky." Like, are you kidding me? Commentary would avoid that at all costs unless they were told to march to that order. And you don't have Triple H publicly quote tweeting George Kittle bashing the decision to have The Rock steal the spotlight and saying the people's tight end knows ball, when he's clearly disagreeing with your booking decision. I mean, if that doesn't say this is all part of the plan, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Read between the lines. Cody's going to come out of Mania with that belt.
I agree with you, I hope at least. But what I'm saying is, what do you think on the idea that WWE had a plan? Maniac basically said it's not possible, where The Rock is this distraction and kind of a red herring just to kind of get him over, as the rumor mill is kind of churning here and kind of saying that could be a possibility.
I think it's as simple as The Rock decided, I want to be in the main event of WrestleMania. I've got the power to do it. Put me in that main event. And then everybody else just kind of had to follow suit. There's rumors that this goes above Nick Khan and Triple H to Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro, who are in charge of TKO. If they decided we want The Rock in WrestleMania, they just have to figure it out, and it doesn't have to make sense. And they did. There are a lot of reports that they work the talent and work the boys. That creates a lot of confusion when you're Seth Rollins going into Royal Rumble weekend thinking you're fighting CM Punk, or you're Cody Rhodes going in and thinking you're fighting The Rock, and there's other plans way ahead of you. But who knows if Triple H was in on it or not? But I seriously think The Rock got some sway and did what a lot of wrestlers that get booking power do, and put himself in the main event and said, I'm the star here on the show. That's what it comes down to for me.
I mean, I agree with this. Definitely, he took his own power into hands and put himself in that match. What I don't get is what's being reported today and maybe yesterday as well, that this was agreed upon weeks before Royal Rumble, when it was supposed to be Cody and Roman and Seth and Punk. I mean, even if you're higher up than Khan and Triple H, you know what happens when you piss off Punk. We saw it multiple times over in AEW. You don't do that, especially this early on back into WWE. I just don't believe that it happened way before, because you're just calling for now. If Punk was healthy, now you have two problems. You got the fans revolting against The Rock because everyone wants Cody. And then you would have also had Punk himself going on one of his, good old times, defying ways and doing whatever. Who knows what he could have done? Because I don't know. I just don't believe it happened.
Rob, does The Rock care about pissing off CM Punk?
No, The Rock doesn't. But it's not just The Rock. It's the TKO higher-ups. They don't want that problem on their hands that they saw Tony Khan have to deal with. Why would they want to have to deal with that, especially with everything that's happened? Obviously, we're not going to mention his name. That would just be another storyline, a bad storyline that they would have had. They would have had 3 bad storylines in a span of a few weeks. They don't want that.
Folks, if you think that The Rock stealing Cody's spot was part of the story, get in the conversation here. But yeah, this goes into our next topic. We're already kind of getting into it. Sorry,
Mike.
I got my mic down here. I know. Oh, Slick, shut the hell up. With that said, they have fully embraced it. And this is a sign of the Triple H WWE versus the Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, I think even Slick alluded to it, would steer straight to exact the narrative that, he wanted to go, that he wanted to push forward. Whereas this new WWE kind of goes with the ebbs and flows. They're not going to deny something. They're not going to shade away from CM Punk's, past, things like that. So with that said, how do you think they'll continue to play it? We got Cody scheduled for SmackDown on Friday, or what are we looking at? Are we looking at long-term here?
Well, first we got the press conference on Thursday. That's where we're going to have a lot of answers to our questions.
I can't believe our press conference guy isn't in the chat right now.
Where's the voice of reason?
Clearly, I'm the new voice of reason.
Yeah. I also say, tying into my point from before, if they were going to do this and Cody wasn't part of this behind our backs, why the fuck would they invite him to this press conference on Thursday? They're like, Roman and The Rock are going to be there after their epic face-off to answer all the questions we have. Oh, by the way, Cody's going to be there too, in case anyone was wondering.
Well, Seth Rollins is also going to be there.
Yeah, and you know what? Also, they're advertising these special promo packages, and they only have Cody. There's no promo package with The Rock or Roman Reigns, so they're playing.
Because The Rock wouldn't do it.
Well, fuck The Rock. Go fucking fail on another movie.
Packages.
We don't need him here anymore. He can go fucking fail at his Hollywood career like he already said. He's lucky they're on a strike right now.
Yeah,
I got bad
strike
news
done,
for you.
Rob. Come on.
No,
every report coming out
director's
is
strike
saying
is
that
done. I don't think the actor strike is.
They're all the strikes are done. I'm getting calls.
Well, here's one thing you need to know about The Rock.
No one wants him.
He literally created his own movie studio to create movies for him because he kept getting typecasted, and then his own studio typecasted him into the same role 8 times in a row.
Right.
I mean, what role can you really have for Dwayne Johnson besides the one he plays in almost every film? I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's a bad.
I got bad news for you. Cody is not wrestling for the title at WrestleMania.
After a while, you're gonna
shut up for a second.
Something.
Cody is not wrestling for the title at WrestleMania because they already signed this. They negotiated it back in November. They signed it on January 3rd. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. Unless The Rock falls off a cliff somewhere, it's going to be Rock Roman Reigns. And Cody has already basically said, of course, he was told to say this, it's not going to be at WrestleMania. How are they going to backtrack that? How is he going to, change his mind or flip-flop on that without hurting his character or what his supposed intent was? And of course, this is in conflict with the reports that are out there right now saying from SRS, from Fightful, Cody was reassured multiple times that he'd be working with Roman at WrestleMania 40. And he voiced the concern once this change was done that the audience wouldn't react well to it and nobody wanted to listen. Now he's out there tweeting saying, hey, thanks for the response, but trust me. Trust what exactly? That everything's going to be all right, that he's going to wrestle for the title. He just said not at WrestleMania. Whatever booking scenarios we come up with, whether it's triple threat, whether it's Roman working night 1 and night 2, he said not at WrestleMania. How are they going to get back on that?
Hey,
I mean-
Partham. Hey, Partham. I'm going to take the wise words of The Rock. Shut your bitch ass up. Cody is finishing the story at WrestleMania.
Hey, Partham,
Oh.
I remember in the chat I posted somebody suggested maybe Saturday night's main event is where Cody will finish the story. If they're going to play the angle of Cody like honoring his father, maybe they have other plans. Maybe we'll get a Great American Bash this year, and that's where it happens. But yeah, you're right. It's not
Partham,
gonna
what
happen.
do you think about the night 1 main event being a title match, or just having him do double duty basically?
That's what they should have done last year.
It doesn't matter what you think about it because
didn't get
Cody
it in.
Rhodes is going to finish the
didn't
story.
Wow. So
Glenn,
I just want to say
Glenn,
something.
Glenn.
Partham, you are the head of the table as far as it's concerned for wrestling
Oh,
motion. So you're putting your reputation on the line that Cody will not finish the story at WrestleMania right now.
He
on
said,
February 6th.
and the reports are saying
Unless
it's
The
not
Rock
him.
falls off a cliff. It was your words. Unless The
No.
Rock falls off
Yeah.
a cliff.
That's
There's-
that's
Partham,
There's-
weren't you the guy that just said everything on TV is a work?
Yeah, because they pre-planned it.
And now you're believing exactly what Cody said?
Yeah, that was a work.
Get the fuck out of here.
Because they told him to say it, and that makes it a work. What are you not getting?
Well, I think that
What I'm
that's
not
just like
getting is you're getting worked into a shoe, brother.
Is
We're
there
getting
the
worked into
possibility?
shoot into a work.
The,
All right,
the
so is this-
WrestleMania, hold on,
is
the
this even a
WrestleMania
qu-
line is a thing that like they can't go back on that he said at WrestleMania. Is there still a possibility
That's
that he does
who?
it? Hold on. Is there a possibility that he does it at the Chamber? That's what they announced, and that it's Cody Roman at the Chamber. There is precedence. John Cena did use his Royal Rumble shot at No Way Out before. They've had this happen before. Cody Rhodes, the new John Cena. What if that's the deal, the counsel that he got from The
So
Rock?
they're
Was,
going to have
hey,
Roman
do it at the
lose
Chamber.
for the first time in years and lose the title before his match with The Rock, diminishing his aura just a little bit, making
I'm not
Well,
saying it's a good
7
idea,
a.m.
Mark.
is
I'm
good.
not saying it's a good idea, Mike. I'm
You
just
know
saying
what?
it's
You know
a
what's
good idea.
amazing? Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble, but still not main eventing WrestleMania. I guess he really was more CM Punk than CM Punk ever was.
CM Punk never won the Rumble.
Dude,
No, but I'm saying he did even more than CM Punk, but still didn't main event. You're missing
All I
the
know-
punchline.
all I know
Partham.
is- all I know is tomorrow night, Cody Rhodes is going to be watching TBS at 8 o'clock with Marvin's Room playing in the background and send a text to a certain someone with the initials TK, you up at 2:30 a.m.
It could be a TKO. So we saw a great fan reaction, obviously. By the way, we can go anywhere on this because I mean I feel like this story is completely engrossing, eclipsing everything going on in WWE. But yeah, the fan reaction is a major part of this. So obviously, you have outlets saying fans like let them hear what they want. I mean, do you think the right play is for the fans to try and drive this, or what is the right play here? If you're a WWE fan and you're genuinely invested in Cody main eventing WrestleMania, is it just to keep hashtagging we want Cody?
Storm the ring.
Yeah.
Storm the ring.
Well, they sort of did that back in 2014, but it was all staged for a WWE Occupy Raw
Right.
thing.
Occupy
Right.
Raw.
So
But what if it just happened
so
like
you're-
as
so
a shoot?
Martham, oh my god, you
What?
bring that up and you're still believing all this shit.
Believing
People
what?
stormed the ring in
No,
kayfabe,
they didn't. They
and you
made
believe
it
Cody
like they
because he
did,
said so.
but it was planned out. That
My
was a
poor
work.
guy.
That was a
God,
work.
I'm sorry, brother.
What do you think that I'm thinking?
I think
I'm
you're
just
holding
shocked that you're
him
taking
and-
Cody's words at face value.
Yeah.
Really,
That's
but that
that's
was
the
the
biggest thing.
storyline that they played out. It was the week after they did Chicago in March of 2014. Do you not remember?
So what? So what's? No, I don't care, frankly. So what they're doing right now is exactly what I was like. What they're doing right now, Maniac. What do they do going forward? What's the play? Fucking feed the fire, and that's exactly what they're doing. Immediate feud match with Shinsuke. makes everyone go, what the fuck? They're really doing this. Go off the air from Raw with McIntyre attacking Cody. Just make it look more and more like there is no scenario where Cody gets into a title match at WrestleMania, and then bam, it happens.
You're giving them way too much credit.
Yeah, it was hilarious last night. That
Dude,
they sold
we
it
were
with-
all praising this guy a month ago, and now you guys are like, oh, he fucking sucks. This is the worst decision ever.
Ooh, Triple H.
It wasn't Triple H's
double
decision.
But yeah, that's
Yeah,
the thing. If
It's
the
The
story,
Rock. The
if it's
Rock's-
not a work,
You can't
It is
The
The
Rock
Rock.
actually-
It's got, dude. I don't think Triple H has
I don't
done
think-
anything wrong here. And truthfully, I think if you look at it on paper, given Fragile Phil's injury, I think that this wasn't a bad alternative. All of a sudden you go to CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Cody. You get The Rock, Roman. It doesn't seem like a terrible decision on paper, but obviously it's playing out terribly for them.
They're muting the Rocky Sucks chance. They muted
can I-
Rocky Sucks chance during the bull rope match. So that tells you how they're embracing the response of the fans.
can I ask you
They
guys
can acknowledge
this?
we want Cody all they want, but they're not alluding to the fact that it's because Cody got robbed of his rightful championship match at WrestleMania.
I know this
Rob.
is true
Oh,
of
people love
Partham.
Cody, but they're not going to say why.
Right.
I know this is true of Partham, but like I genuinely like sit here sometimes and like think about this whole situation. It just makes me sad, man. I'm just like, damn, because a lot of us are going to Mania too. I really, really need to see Cody Rhodes finish this story.
What about
And,
all those
just the
kids that
possibility?
Cody bought tickets to go to Mania for?
I know the poor kids. The
Yeah,
clowns.
they're. I hope they're ready for a Cody Seth banger.
No,
Maybe
no,
throw
no,
Drew.
no.
How about
Maybe
the
throw
kids?
Drew or
How about the
Sage.
kids fucking stay in
The
school?
War title. Do you want to be Hulk Hogan or do you want to be Dusty Rhodes? I mean, come on.
It's gonna be a triple threat. We all know how this is gonna end. They're not gonna risk. We've seen it in Philly before. We've seen Roman and Rock in a ring together in Philly, and what happened? There was booze. It took over. They don't want the main event of night 2 of the biggest WrestleMania ever to be all of a booze show. It's happening. They're
Not
gonna
a
add.
boo show.
Yo, guys, we got the Ultimate Warrior in the chat.
Cody stinks. I don't know. I was at the last WrestleMania where The Rock was supposed to be cheered and he was booed against Hulk Hogan at the Skydome. So it happens. So we'll see.
Does anybody remember WrestleMania 20?
I hope so.
The other Who Shall Not Be Named versus Goldberg?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want that again.
Cody's
And
one last
fans
shot.
make it clear that's what's going to happen. Maybe they'll make it a triple threat, but they're going to have to go around this logic of, like I said, Cody said it's not going to be a WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah.
Thursday is
All he has to do
very
be like,
telling.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
Yeah, all
That's-
Cody has to do is gonna say, I didn't think I wanted it at WrestleMania. I thought I could wait, but then 97 million people hashtagged we want Cody, so we're gonna do it at Mania. Like,
Well,
fuck it.
a lot of people are coming up with this booking scenarios, not unlike what Ace Steel did with CM Punk in AEW. They're coming up with Sammy could say it, or Jey Uso could say it, or Punk could come back himself and say it, and slap some sense into Cody and say, "What the hell are you doing, rolling over for Dwayne here?"
That's how they opened the show.
Yeah, Drew was
Drew
spin
McIntyre
track.
came
Drew's
out
been
and was
through
like,
that
dude,
effect,
what
sure.
the fuck are you doing? He was
Yeah, to
saying
be
what all
honest,
of us
Drew
are
in that
thinking.
role was great. I'll say
And
out of
that
everything,
also
Drew
tells me they're playing
McIntyre's
into
stock
it.
is
Drew
skyrocketing.
McIntyre opens the show by coming out and saying what we're all thinking, and then they close the show by him attacking. Come on, Partham. Read the fucking writing on the wall, brother.
I'm reading the writing. It's going to be a triple threat like Cody.
You
Drew,
just said it wasn't.
Yeah,
gonna
you just
happen!
said there's no way. You
for
went
the
on a
World
whole
Heavyweight
tangent.
title.
You
For the World
went on a
Heavyweight
whole
title, not the WWE Undisputed title.
What?
Okay, so hold on. So
what have you got,
Parthy,
Kenny?
no. Parthy thinks he's gonna be in a 3-way for the
Maybe Sammy's
the
included, too.
workhorse title.
Who knows?
But no chance is he facing Roman at WrestleMania. You're
Not
locking that
unless
in,
they
Parthy.
change their direction. Not unless they change their mind. They're set on their
You said it. You said The Rock would have to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
like 10 minutes ago.
He's backtracking like
The Rock
WWE is
is
going
gonna
to
face
backtrack.
Roman.
That's all.
But
Parthy, there's a
we're gonna
little
have
bit of a
to add-
backtrack. This is what
we're
happens
gonna
when you're the
have
head of the
to add
table.
Cody in some way. The Rock and Roman is set. That's reported.
Okay.
Hey, well, it's not officially announced.
Things that are reported.
No,
always
folks.
happen.
To stay
Did you
tuned for
hear-
the True Report, stay tuned for the voice of reason, Ernie Green, at the WWE WrestleMania press conference on Thursday. That is a Trainwreck exclusive. Our guy, Ernie Green, will be in the house. So stay tuned for that. Any other WWE thoughts that haven't been said and yelled at Ali yet?
It was
Did we
yelled at
hear
Partham.
what Michael Cole said as they went off the air regarding the press conference? Is Roman going to face The Rock? Is Cody going to face Seth? He's basically penciling it in for you right there.
Oh, he's working you.
Everything
he's
is not.
doing. That's what he's doing.
Okay.
It's all a work, but they're not working us.
Triple H is in his ear. Triple H is in his ear going, make these people as pissed off as you possibly can.
I truly don't think Cody's wrestling Roman at WrestleMania. I'm with Partham.
And I truly don't care about your opinion.
I think
I truly think
that's
it's a
the
bad
chamber.
opinion.
I think The Rock came in. This we have seen this in wrestling history so many times. A guy comes in, gets political power, puts himself in the main event. We've just never seen it happen with the biggest superstar of all time happening in the biggest company of all time. It is what it is. That's where I'm at with this. I'm with you, Partham. I don't think that they can. I don't think they want to go back on this. I'm with you, Slick, though. They are definitely playing into it because they just want to keep that attention, to keep that fervor going. And then they're going to pull out the rug on Thursday and then hope for the best on Friday.
They're hoping.
I don't know. I don't think that's
It's
going
going to be a
though.
shit show for Road to WrestleMania. It's going to be a shit show if they announce it.
But The Rock, you guys are forgetting that The Rock just thinks that if he's attached to it, it's good. People are going to like it. Like, this man has the ego the size of the United States of America. He thinks that because he is in this main event,
He thought he could
people
get
are gonna
Black
be
Adam
happy.
over.
Yeah, like this man has no bounds. And he is the element to this story that is new and that we don't know as much.
All right,
about.
let's
Jimmy
pace
on this,
ourselves.
we know
Let's
about
pace
that.
ourselves because something tells me there will be a lot to talk about on this front for the coming weeks. And let's save some time for AEW because we have a huge Dynamite tomorrow. I'm about to feel like Excalibur for a second. We got obviously Swerve Hangman 3. We got Tony Storm against Red Velvet in a match there. We got Jericho versus Takeshita. We got CMLL versus Blackpool Combat Club in a trios match, and we got the AEW World Tag Team titles on the line. Sting and Darby Allin against Ricky Starks and Big Bill. And here's the thing: a lot of people don't realize Big Bill could main event a WrestleMania. So with that said, obviously a huge card tomorrow. Does anyone not have Swerve?
Time limit draw.
Yeah, I could see a time limit draw.
Yeah, he's won the first two, so I don't know.
Well, if they're booking a triple threat, they're going to have to make a way to have it end in a tie or a time.
Not a triple threat, Parthy. Part 3.
For the championship match against Samoa Joe when that
you think that's ultimately what it's going to be, a triple threat with the time limit draw?
I do.
Well, I mean, they want to crown Swerve Strickland, but does anybody think Swerve should be crowned right now?
No, it's a little too soon. Even for
so they're gonna have to find a way out of that, and that's Samoa Joe pinning Hangman Adam Page.
That is true.
Swerve is in there.
Very fair. Yeah. That could be that is a good way to add maybe 2 to 3 months to the story, potentially. But out of everything else on there, obviously Swerve-Page 3 will be a banger. What are you most excited for Dynamite tomorrow? That trios match, the tag team titles. I'm excited for Timeless Tony. I'm sorry. Everything that Timeless Tony touches turns to gold right now. So whether it's Luther, whether it's Mariah May, I'm sure Timeless Tony will be dealing tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. That'll be must-watch television tomorrow when Tony's on the TV.
With that being said, Maniac, there's supposed to be a big announcement being made that could tie directly into Tony's title picture. Potentially.
Oh, no.
Oh, were you expecting a debut?
Yeah.
Is Tony
not tomorrow. I'm expecting
an announcement.
Is Tony with a Y gonna screw over Tony
with
an I and open up the cash drawer?
I think Jake said it perfectly to me. I forget when he said it to me, but I think Tony's just gonna say some cryptic. He's gonna announce like a show in Boston and say some cryptic ass shit like it's gonna be a hell of a show and you can bank on it or something like that. And then
live Rampage, like the first dance. You think?
Yeah, literally.
That did work. I'd say I know that Mercedes and Sasha isn't as big of a draw as CM Punk. The longevity of the absence from wrestling, but
with everything hitting the fan in WWE right now, and AEW coming up on a pay-per-view called Revolution, especially a company that has had a lot of criticism about its women's division in the past, doing some first dance lead up to something like that, a show in Boston right around the Revolution time would be huge a couple weeks for AEW, especially on the road to WrestleMania when they probably don't get a lot of the spotlight.
Well, and I'll just say this too, as a guy who's kind of biased towards men's wrestling, I just prefer it over women's wrestling. We had an amazing women's rumble, but I was still sad that Sasha didn't come back. So she really could be a pretty sizable draw.
Yeah, I think that cemented her going to WWE, obviously not being in the women's rumble. But we think that she's going to debut ultimately at AEW Revolution.
No, at the 13th, I think.
Oh, the 13th. Okay.
So that's,
okay.
I think they announced March 13th, St. Patrick's Day Slam in Boston.
Okay.
You can bank on that. Then you get Revolution the 3rd, potentially Okada's first Dynamite on the 6th, and then potentially Mercedes debut on the 13th. That's a pretty good run. Pretty good run of 3 shows there. 3 big shows at least. Obviously, there's some collisions.
Wouldn't hurt to get Ospreay stateside. What the hell's happening, Don Callis? Jesus.
Hey, he's supposed to be at the rumor from him a couple weeks ago was that he's supposed to be at Revolution too. That's supposed to be his start. So might be a big couple weeks there for AEW.
Okay. Hey, speaking of going off, we'll just wrap this up. This is basically a non-topic considering it was kind of light by Tony Khan standards, but I thought it was funny. He's tweeting on a Saturday night about sleeper cells, about thing going on. He's riding the WWE anti-WWE code. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, he really does not give a fuck, man. He will just go on, get those Twitter fingers going, get a couple cocktails in him, and just start sending Sopranos gifts out.
Yeah, he's his own worst enemy. He's just like Trump with Twitter. So.
he can't help himself, man. Like there has to be people telling him, like, hey, just don't, you don't gotta send these out right now. And then he doesn't care. Even today, he had some tweets of some random person today about the collision numbers or something like that. It's like, bro, who is this dude that you're arguing with right now? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, no, it is very funny. And I hate to say it because I've called out Sean, our SRS, for the same thing. I don't know why you go after someone, with just minuscule following compared to you, or, not even the same audience. Just looks bad, looks insecure on your part. So not a great look by Tony Khan, but we'll see. Could be a great look for him tomorrow if he books a great show. Any final thoughts here before we sign off on Wrestling with Emotion, gents?
Yeah, I just want to mention it obviously got overshadowed with The Rock returning and all of that, but the promo between Bayley and Damage Control on Friday night, that was an outstanding promo, and I'm excited for that match, even though it's obviously gotten overshadowed for the last few days. But that should pick up, and that could easily be a night one main event if obviously the way things don't go the way we want it to go.
And also sometimes WWE dumbs down storylines to like kind of throw them in your face. The twist that Bayley knew what she was saying, that they were saying the whole time and kind of played it, that was really good. Really well done.
Well, and her acting was really good. Like when she was like talking about how I just wanted Damage Control to be the best, you could hear it in her voice.
Yeah, it was solid for sure.
Once these girls came around, it hasn't been the same.
Parthy, speaking of never being the same, Parthy, why don't you sign us off?
There are still people to this day that believe 2014's Yes Movement was an entire work and that they were planning to put the championship on Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, even though Daniel Bryan documented in his own book that was not the case and they had to pivot because of the Yes Movement, because of all the hijacking and stuff. It may happen right now, but they're not planning it from the start to have Cody be the champion of WrestleMania now that The Rock's interjected himself.
Who was in charge back then?
Vince.
We'll see. We'll see what happens ultimately. Who knows? Triple H could come out and say, Cody, you got a championship shot at Mania, but you got to face me to open the show. Let's go. So, speaking of show, folks, make sure you're following along on SoundCloud, YouTube, everywhere you can get your podcast. We're rocking and rolling. This is the 4th episode of Wrestling with Emotion so far in 2024. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We're on the road to Elimination Chamber, Revolution. And quite frankly, this train never stops because this is the show where it's not wrestling with your budget. It's not wrestling with your conscience. It is wrestling with emotion. Scissor me, Slick.